We got a brand new episode of the Odds and End Zones podcast on the Bleeding Green Nation Radio Podcast Network. I'm your host, Shamus Clancy, Deputy Sports Editor of PhillyVoice.com, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Zo. Zo, how's it going?
All right. What's up, bro? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
We're recording on, Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, early Thursday afternoon. I don't know when you're listening to this, but last day of work for the week for me. I'm off rarely off on the weekend, but off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Going to be doing a little relaxing. Lots of bird stuff going on. Busy the last couple of weeks, and then once the grind of the season's here, there's no stopping.
Yeah, that's it, man. Once Tuesday comes, that's pretty much it. Season is in full swing. Thursday night football kicks off, and then tonight, we have the
our Nittany Lions.
Right, our Nittany Lions are in action at Purdue. We got a little West Virginia and Pitt action. This is like the official. So we got week 0 for all the degenerates, but now we get into like the official kickoff of the college football season, which is always fun. So it's coming at the perfect time because you'll be off and you can just chill on the couch all weekend and watch.
Oh yeah, Saturday. I'm just going to be a couch potato, enjoy some ice cold Kenwood's. Going to have a blast of a day. Been sleep schedule's been just. I get up at like 6 now for work. It's insane, but it's awesome. Like I'm busy, but just loving it and very thankful for the opportunity. Did you take anything this weekend? I thought we were going to start birds. You just want to start with college? Did you take anything? This is a gambling podcast. People forget. Yeah, people.
You know what? I generally was scared to take anything. I don't give week 0 the kind of love as I should. So I'm excited for tonight though. I am taking Penn State plus the points tonight. And I don't know if I'm going to touch West Virginia and Pitt, but I feel like our Lions are going to they're going to do their druthers tonight.
Shout out AAV. I took Florida plus 3 at home versus the number 7 Utah team. Florida's unranked. A little more of a vibes bet because, as we'll discuss, the Eagles traded for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, formerly of Florida. Obviously, Howie Roseman loves Florida players as a Florida alum himself.
My guy.
So I did that, and I might throw some cheese on Ohio State minus 7.5. Sorry for all my Irish Catholic brethren in South Philadelphia. Sorry.
So, that's very funny that you did that because Utah is one of the teams that, how do I put this? They're on fraud watch for some people.
I was literally going to say they feel fraudulent. I was ready to say that.
They're very much on fraud watch for a lot of people nationally. So if anything, this will be the game. I know Florida has it's your typical Florida team. They're fast at all their skill positions. I mean, they got guys that come from all over the place down there. They have a good quarterback.
Yeah, QB upside. He could be a future round 1 guy, I think.
Yeah, and they have a couple of their secondary is good, so they won't be scared. That's for sure. They're going to give Utah all they can handle. That's going to be a goodie. That's good. That's going to be probably I think up there for a candidate of game of the week there because I don't think Florida's not going to be scared at all.
That's a true in the swamps vibe down the swamps at that stadium with the Labor Day weekend heat. You have these dudes from Utah coming over.
They pump the sound in. They got those Wi-Fi boxes in the stadium where they pump the sound in. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be.
You're gonna have all those freshmen getting lit up. Oriented. It's syllabus week in the University of Florida, ready to get lit up for the first game of your Florida career.
There's no Friday classes. I think I read that there's like no Friday classes. Like nobody.
Even if you're scheduled to have class on Friday, there are no Friday.
Yeah, there's no Friday. There's no Friday classes in general. Class is done at 3:00 today. We're waiting for the Utes to show up, baby.
And what do you think about your prep boys at Ohio State? Obviously, CJ is at quarterback, but Harrison Jr. seems to be on I'll maybe
Yes,
little risky saying it on Harrison's senior trajectory, I would say.
He's a monster, man. He is 6'3", I think they said, and like 2 something. The dude is stout, and he runs I think he's running like a 4.4. He is prototypical as they get, and he's actually gonna be really important for them. They have Jackson's coming back, so he's their number one receiver, but Marv's gonna be in the mix for that number 2 or number 3 spot like early. So he's we'll see him early against Notre Dame. And then I think that in general they're going to score a ton of points, and I think that Kyle's going to be Kyle McCord is going to be in the mix next year. I think this is part of the reason that he stayed. Like, we're also a recruiting podcast, so I know that a lot of our Penn State buddies were wondering if Penn State would come after him after last year when CJ Stroud won the job, but I just think that he stayed because it's the level of competition. Plus, he's got a chance to literally come in next year and win the job. It should be his job next year.
Yeah.
Obviously, CJ Stroud is going to be depending on who you like between him and whoever else, but he's probably going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. There's so much drama here because if the Saints get the number 1 pick, it could be the Eagles pick. And if Jalen Hurts isn't the guy, which would absolutely suck, then the Eagles could be in the mix for a quarterback, number 1. CJ Stroud could be our quarterback next year. So, all that stuff in the mix. But I think that our guys out in Buckeyeville are going to have a good season for sure.
That receiving duo, dare I say, gives me some vibes of 2019 LSU Tigers.
Yeah.
With Jamar and Justin Jefferson, where one goes top 25 one year, other one goes top 10 the next year. And those guys are immediately in the conversation for the top 5-7 best receivers in the NFL.
They are very, very, even like the guys that left, the way they talk about them are like, oh yeah, those dudes are going to be probably the best in college football. Like, and those dudes were considered some of the best in college football. And they immediately were like, yeah, those they are it. I think that it's interesting because I think you look at certain schools and who they pump out. Like, if you need a wide receiver, you're gonna go look at, all right, who's Ohio State pumping out this year? Like we're gonna go right to Ohio State. Like, if you need a D lineman, you're gonna look at who's the SEC pumping out this year. If you want an O-line, you're gonna look at what Big Ten team is pumping out like this year. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like they are one of those schools where automatically who to go for, like, for a specific need. And it's just receiver. Receiver is just like, it's just like cake for them. Like, it's every day, every year. All they do is reload a receiver. It's crazy.
I want it to be known to everyone out there that this is a pro Harrison family podcast.
Yeah.
We've never thrown shade on any members of the family or anything they with their life entails. So I want to make that a true statement and get that out of the way.
As true as can be. Like, we couldn't be more pro Harrison family on this pod.
I had a new Gatorade flavor this week I wanted to discuss.
So
I like this little bit we got going. So
shout out to our guy Trey.
Trey is a Gatorade fiend. I love it.
Yeah.
I think he is an Eagles convert.
Yes,
that seems to be the case. Good for him. I think
he said that
we play a non-significant role in that.
Yeah, you asked him, Max. Yeah, I like to think that we play actually a pretty big significant role with that. And I remember you asked him, and he said that he was all in. So that's cool. Good for him. Yeah, we always need more people on the boat. So that's cool. But yeah, so I know that he shouted you out because he got a new flavor this week.
So last week we talked about the Gatorade Fit, which seems like a more immediate post-athletic situation, deathly hungover one, where it's more watery but more pure hydration than great taste. I had the Gatorade Fit. It was cherry lime, and I was pretty excited about it. And it was okay, I'd say. It really just tasted like a more watery fruit punch. And fruit punch is probably my least favorite of the classic flavors. I guess you'd say the classics are fruit punch, lemon, lime, and orange. That would be my least favorite of those like OG 3.
I would say
was okay.
I would say in general, juice flavors, fruit punch is like my tier 1.
Okay.
But interesting you mentioned that. I've never come around fully on the Gatorade fruit punch though, if that makes sense. Like
you want the fruit punch like water thing like they have at Mr. Deeds.
Right. Yeah.
Hawaiian punch fountain.
Right, exactly. So I would have to agree. I think that again, fruit punch is typically my favorite, but when it comes to Gatorade, it kind of trails behind the rest. But I'm actually excited to try it out. So it's actually, and I actually will give you a since we are also a food podcast, I will give you an update. Last night I tried the chicken sandwich from no, it wasn't. It was Wingstop.
Was it a chain?
It was Wingstop. Yeah.
Was Meach tweeting about that? And then you
Meach
bought it?
Tweeted about it, and it he got the I think he got the I forget which one he got, but you can get it. So this is actually not a bad marketing idea. You can get the sandwich dipped in any of their sauces.
Okay.
So I think he got I forgot which one he got, but I just got the buffalo one.
Yeah.
So they give you a ton of pickles. You get like 7 pickles on the sandwich.
I'm a pickle fiend.
Which is great. Yeah, I'm a big pickle guy. I think you'll appreciate this. My biggest critique is in the transition from the sandwich being dipped in the sauce and then on the bread. Yeah, things get a little soggy. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Totally.
So like, there's no patented like crisp. Like it gets lost in translation. Like the idea is great. It's a perfect idea. I think it's an amazing idea that you can get it dipped in all their sauces, and I would probably get it again just to try it. But at least in the lexicon of the buffalo one, you gotta prepare for it to be a little bit just like soggy. I would definitely I would get it again in different flavors just to see if that's what everything. But I think the pickle idea was great. You get like 7 of them. I'm a huge pickle guy, like you.
Did you order delivery or did you pick it up and eat it there?
I picked it up. My uncle lives right off Southampton in the Boulevard, so there's a Buffalo Wild Wings near him. And Buffalo Wild Wings and a Wingstop near him. So we just got it. He takes. Actually, I'm going to plug this too because this is a terrific idea.
Do it.
He takes my cousins out to a bunch of restaurants near them, and they do this thing called bussin' or disgusting. So like, if it's good, it's bussin', right? If they don't like it, it's disgusting. So they did pho the other night. They've done like Mexican food the past couple of nights. It's actually a super, super cool like dad idea, which I really think is cool. So they're gonna do Wingstop tonight. So I'm anxious to see what they think about the sandwiches they get. But I think that I encourage everyone to try it. I think everybody should have their own opinion on stuff like that. So try it and at me, let me know what you think. Shout out to Meach because I know he tried it too and he was a big inspiration for it. So let us know what you think, man. Gatorade, food. We are a foodie pod. What are we gonna do?
Speaking of food and drink, I know a great place and a great time for you to enjoy some local beers, some great food, all in the comfort of the great city of Philadelphia. I'm talking about Liberty Grounds on 1600 West Girard Ave, where Zo and I will be doing the second ever live podcast for Odds and End Zones at Liberty Grounds, Thursday, September 15th. First true Thursday night football game of the season on Amazon Prime. It'll be the Eagles for Eagles fans, they're probably assuming, will be 1-0.
Yep.
Going into Monday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings. We all know what happened the last time Vikings were here for a night game on national TV. And also now will be the return of said Jalen Reagor to Philadelphia. Lots of juice keeps getting added to that game.
I love that. I love that juice going into that game. I love that we'll be coming off probably a week 1 victory against the Lions. A Lions team that is, albeit at least looks, if Hard Knocks has to say anything about it, at least looks to be improved and will play tough. But I think the better team will prevail and, we'll come in 1-0. And that'll be a very, very, very fun Monday night. And then the 15th, man, I'm super excited. I think that one of the things that Liberty Grounds is good at is just they know their space. So their promotions are really cool. Like they've already, they're in the span of promoting it. They've already said like what you can sign up for. That they're gonna have cool giveaways and stuff like that. Like I think that they do a great job of knowing their space and kind of their audience. So it'll be fun. I think it's gonna be a really, really fun night.
Yeah, man. The food was really good. And even if you bring like a date or your partner or just some friends, you could hang around before and after with just showing up at the bar, watching sports, which that's kind of what this podcast is about, is enjoying sports and crushing some brews. And then the whole mini golf downstairs, it's a 9-hole one. It's quick, it's short, has a Philly theme. And they also have darts and cornhole. Me and Ash played there the one time. They have like a lounge set up with TVs down there. It'll be sick. There's a bar downstairs, obviously the main big bar upstairs. It's going to be great, man. And hopefully that's a great connection. We could collab in the future too.
They actually have this is crazy too. They actually have a mini golf league. So, for anybody who shows up on the 15th and interested, they'll be more than happy to talk to you about it. But I'm excited for a lot of people to see this space. I know many of us have driven past wondering what it was or how it was, but I'm really, 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 really pumped for everyone to see the space and kind of talk to these very nice people. They're really, really cool partners of ours. So excited for this, excited for what the future brings. It sounds like, they would certainly welcome us back for more. So we just got to blow this one out.
Yeah. So if you like the pod, if you like us, want to hang out, watch some ball, talk some ball, maybe if you're there, you can hop in and give a take on the pod. Please come out. It'll be a great time. We did a live pod last year at Mitchell and Ness. Maybe collabing with them again at some point this season. We'll see about that. In talks. But Liberty Grounds, 2 weeks from today, dude. It's Thursday. 2 weeks.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's already 2 weeks from today. It's September 1st already. 2 weeks from today we'll be at Liberty Grounds having a blast. I've gotten some confirmation that some very, very, very special guests will be in the building, one of whom the pride, the Hoagie King of Philadelphia. It's going to be a very exciting night.
And I did an article this week on Philly Voice. I guess it was Tuesday, doing an immediate Twitter reaction roundup to the Gardner-Johnson trade, which we'll talk about too shortly. And just getting the immediate reactions like Mina Kimes and Bill Barnwell, but then also doing our Nitwit friends from Twitter. Shows I'd have to give like weird descriptions. These people, I was like, Philly Twitter influencer Jeff McDevitt knows that Gardner-Johnson is bringing some vibes to this team. And then I referred to Fink as Hoagie Maestro Eric Fink.
That's good. That's good. Hoagie Maestro.
That's a great. That seems like he should have a shirt that says that.
He needs a smock or a shirt that says Hoagie Maestro on it.
You want to talk about the trades?
Let's talk about them.
Can you not see me on the screen while I'm doing some work right here?
No, I can see you.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know if that goes away. Multitasking, bro.
Love it. I mean, it's what you gotta do, man. I mean, I think in your world, it's your world 24/7. We could be pulling another trade as we speak. So,
dude, I don't have a car. I sold my car a couple of years ago because it just really made no sense. I live in the city. I'm doing a lot of shit and stuff like that.
I remember when you did that. I remember when wasn't it?
It was the greatest move I've ever done.
Yeah,
my car was We're having problems, dude. There was something wrong with like the hubcap.
Okay.
And the one tire needed to get air put in there once a week.
Okay.
So I drove like 3 times in a week. Then I'd
Yeah.
have to go to the Sunoco and fill up and get quarters and fill it up. It was just such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard sometimes now when I was working from home a lot. Now I'm going to the NovaCare sometimes.
Yep.
So what I've been doing is for those afternoons there, I'd take an Uber down there for like $15 and then get Ash to pick me up when she's done work. And then just kind of say, hey, it's $7.50 each way to make it easier, or whatever it is. But I'm in the Uber yesterday being Wednesday down there, about to talk to practice. Soon Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was going to speak. He did talk to the media after practice, saw a little bit of the warm-ups. But when I'm in the Uber.
At all? Did he practice?
He did practice. He practiced. Nice. When I'm in the Uber, I get the notification that the trade has happened. I was like, of course, when I can. I was like, did I need to get on my laptop and put a hotspot on my phone and do that?
Of course.
So I'm calling Jimmy Kempsey, also some brand synergy of the main primary BGN radio show.
Our guy.
So it was a lot of fun. But that's part of the grind. And so we got that article up there. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson trade. I was just home for that, and we got on that news pretty quickly. But the Reagor one was such a WTF because we all thought it was going to happen on Tuesday during roster cutdown day. Obviously, there was ample opportunity to trade him at some point before the season, but the week after cutdown, just seeing how different rosters shake out, and that's actually what happened.
I read, and it might have been just a normal league reporter saying like tidbits that they picked up was that they had actually been shopping Reagor all season, and
probably I'm not super surprised, right?
And just waiting for the right time to to pull the trigger. I feel like it's almost like a Tobias Harris situation where like you're not gonna outwardly say we're shopping the guy, but like everybody who calls like you can have this dude, So I think it was one of those things. So I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised. I know how he said, but GM speak is GM speak. So I wasn't surprised at all. I was surprised at the great return. I mean, as has been widely reported, they've got more back than the Cowboys got back for Amari Cooper. But
Dallas weeps, sucking up those tears.
Dude, like I mean, come on, man. Like asset management. You got to be good at something. So like, and if you're getting rid of a guy who happened to lead your team in receptions the year before, get the premium for him, and then you look at how we got for Reagor, and like, I mean, it's hard to be upset at any of these moves.
In a vacuum, drafting a guy with a top 25 pick and then trading him 2 years later for two day 3 picks. Not great. Really.
Nope.
It's not great.
Nope.
It's a blemish on his evaluation as a drafter, which we all know.
Oh, yeah.
But given everything that's happened in the, almost 30 months since that draft pick, this is tremendous value. And again, this is just the Howie quandary, right? He's been doing great lately over the last 2 years to rebuild this roster. But it was in such dire shape because of some of the issues that he created.
He
goes in cat in the hat mode, causes a huge mess. The parents are coming home. And he does the tidiest, quickest cleanup ever.
Well, I think it is you're very well within your rights to say, and I think the way it should be framed is he did a great job cleaning up a mess that he 90% created.
Correct.
So he deserves the credit for having an amazing offseason. He also deserves the blame and the vitriol for what led to the roster shape leading up to this. All true. Like, we shouldn't be arguing about anything, like, because those are all factual points. I'm sure at some point Jeffrey Lurie sat him down and said, look, this is your mess. You need to clean it up, and I trust you to clean it up. And that's that. Like, and he did. He cleaned it up. They have, by all accounts, what most in the league are saying is now a top 3 or 4 roster. Like, he did an amazing job this summer, but also it was a lot of the stuff that he did was due to the fact that he had to clean up previous milk spills. So, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, I just think that Now we move on, and now, as we say in the business, now you get judged for everything you do from this point on. So this is your roster again. Whatever happens to this team and this roster moving forward is on you.
It's essentially like he got the same return for Reagor as he gave up for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah.
So, and then also if you do a little bit of transitive property of trades, talking about some Algebra 2, all at old 1733 West Gerard Ave, there was, they kind of traded J-Jaw for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Who got cut, by the way?
He's back on the practice squad, but he's back on the practice squad. We want to clarify, I was at the press conference yesterday, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's first practice in Philadelphia, talked with the media afterward in the auditorium. At the NovaCare complex, a couple of the DBs spoke. He likes to be called either CJ or CD. Now, he can be called whatever he wants. His teammates can call him whatever, and it's whatever. Right. I think CD, little much like CD Lamb, and he's kind of the primary guy in the division. And if you said CD to me for an NFL player, I'm going to think him. But I like CJ. I think I named this podcast. I called him CJ Gardner-Johnson in this.
I think CJ is fine.
He's not a Chauncey guy.
He's not a Chauncey guy. Okay, that's fair. I think
you're not an Alonzo guy.
I'm not an Alonzo guy.
See?
I love my name. I love my name to death, but I'm not an Alonzo guy at all. So I totally understand where he's coming from there. I also think that his Twitter name is fun too. His CD Deuce was probably where CD comes from, but
yeah,
I think that CJ works, and it's funny because this is in a city where we love nicknames. I think that it's great that he picks his own. We should have more of that.
T-Bone.
Hey, T-Bone.
I transcribed some quotes from him from yesterday and some other DBs working on an article for PhillyVoice.com. This is what he said about the short turnaround from kind of getting traded less than 2 weeks before the week 1 matchup in Detroit. And he's saying, hey, I'm a ball player, just football. Been playing it since I was 6 years old. Coaches have been A1, players have been A1. They've been helpful. First day of practice, I was out there flying around with the guys, got some reps with the ones, got some 2 reps. Everything felt natural. Everything felt like I was back in high school, middle school again. Darius Slay gassing it up, talking about his swag, talking about his energy. Avonte Maddox mentioned multiple times that he has that dog in him, which I'm sure you love. And it just feels like one of those things. It's the antithesis of the dream team thing where they're just getting star names and building those up. Whereas I think these guys that they've been getting the last 2 years, and especially this offseason, are not just talented, but cultural fits as well.
Yeah, and they're younger.
Yes. It's not guys end of prime.
Right.
Then you realize Nnamdi past prime.
Right, past prime, right. Yeah, these are guys who are younger and guys who also in some form or fashion have, still have a lot to prove. Jalen Hurts, a lot to prove.
Named Captain Day for the second year. Did you see the captains came out?
Yeah.
It was offensively, Jalen Hurts and Jason Kelce, both holdovers from last year. Lane Johnson going into year 10, I believe, first ever year as the Eagles captain. You have Brandon Graham, who's been a captain in the past. Fletcher Cox has been a captain in the past. And newly, cornerback Darius Slay coming off his first Pro Bowl campaign in Philadelphia. Imagine telling me in September of last year that Slay would be a captain next year. I'd be like, you got to be – are you effing with me right now? I would have been like, no effing way. No effing way.
Swag, and then in Swaggy's voice, literally your boy.
Yeah, he was really in that. I think of Wilbon and Kornheiser obviously are idols in a way. They would call each other your boy if one of the other ones hated the guy. So he was definitely my boy then. And then we also have Jake Elliott, the special teams rep. As he's me and my buddy would joke he's a close personal friend of the program. One of my closest friends from college. Actually, one of my closest friends and another kid I was close with in college. They both went to high school with Jake.
Oh, so that's awesome.
Yeah, so one dude played baseball at Penn, was boys with Jake. Another one of my friends was hey, do you want to go out to the hockey game tonight or go to the Flyers game? I got a text. He's like, cool if my other friend comes too. And he was like, yeah. And he just shows up and his other friend was Jake Elliott. He brought to the Flyers game. And then my other boy was on the football team too, played guard, started a few years at Penn, obviously played football with Jake in high school. And he showed me some old pic that he had of Jake and him together. They got to be in like 7th, 8th, 9th grade, whatever. And it's this kid. I don't want to say his name. I don't want to say this guy's name in case it gets him in any trouble. But obviously it's Jake. He's stabbing Jake with a Halo 3 energy sword. And I could never find the picture again. I'm so mad. I don't think I asked him once and he didn't send it to me. I don't think he wants it out there. But just hilarious. And it gives you some nice insight that a guy can be a kicker and still have some personality there.
You gotta have pizzazz, man. I think that's what makes them so good. Sometimes kickers can be very stoic. I think we're probably gonna have a kicker incident tonight during the college football games because we always do. But like
Motley losing his mind for a kicker missing a 38-yard field goal.
Motley literally ripping South Philly in the shreds before the game's over. Yeah, like I think I think that it's cool to have personality, and I think it goes back to the G team antithesis because I do think that this is a team that still thinks they have a lot to prove, and
those guys smelt themselves too much and had this level of arrogance. And I think there was this mercenary vibe where every guy wanted to get their contract, wanted their stats, wanted to boost all that stuff. Whereas it's easy to say in August, right? It's September 1st. It's easy to say this stuff in the off season. And I wasn't covering the team then. I was going to my senior in high school. Right. Being around the team the last few years as a writer, content creator, or media member more so now, energy is just totally, totally different.
And I think that it'll be if this team fails, it won't be because they didn't believe. I think there's too many leaders on this team, too much personality to let it turn into a him versus him type locker room. I just think that if they do, if they don't achieve the goal they want to achieve, which is ultimately a Super Bowl, at least a Super Bowl berth, it'll be because either the injury guys didn't look down kindly, or just serendipitous things didn't work out the way they should be. But I don't think that personality will be an issue. I think that this is a team that truly wants to fight for each other. I think that they are in some ways tired of hearing about the but. I think when people mention the Eagles, the but is always Jalen Hurts. Like, oh, like what? Like, but.
I saw something. It was like, who has the best roster besides quarterback? And the Eagles were number 2 on Sunday Night Football NBC's Instagram account. And it's just I'm not saying he's earned all the respect in the world in terms of just on the field, off the field for sure. But it's really, the season comes down to him. And we've said this before. I've said it on From the Bleachers, written it. He doesn't need to be Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, even Joe Burrow for them to not just make the playoffs or go far in the playoffs to, really, really contend. He just needs to be, I think, 15% better than last year. A little bit of more accuracy, a little bit more variety, which in training camp so far, at least, he's attacked the left side of the field and over the middle of the field, where I really, really think they're going to thrive this year with Goddard over the middle and those dynamic A.J. Brown slants over the middle and racking up that yak. I'm a believer. I'm been a believer because I like his attitude. I like his vibes. I like the way the team rallies around him. It's this juxtaposition with the Foles versus Wentz versus Hurts, where in the vacuum, the most talented guy didn't really click with everything else going on. But the other guys had intangibles that lifted their play in certain situations, even if they weren't the biggest pure arm talent out there.
And some of those guys, they're great, obviously terrific quarterbacks. They have to be who they are out of necessity. Like Joe Burrow doesn't have the Eagles defense behind him. Yeah. Like him and Jamar Chase have to score 36 points a game. We're not asking Jalen Hurts to score 20 points a game. Like if this offense averages 17 points a game, they're going to win games 17-14, 17-10, sometimes 17-7. Like the defense it's not, next best we ever seen in a decade, but I do think it's going to be one of the ones where you're going to have extremely tough time scoring against them, especially if they have a lead. Like we've seen good defenses and how they play when they have a lead. You give that front seven and that the back core a 10-point lead, I assure you they won't lose it for you. That's how they're built.
Yeah. Maybe getting a little ahead of ourselves, but I look at week 2 this year as this turning point or pivot situation for this team. Mm-hmm. Vikings are a pretty good team, I think. I think they can make the postseason. I probably think I would pick them to make the postseason. They're going to be better offensively, I think.
I would. Yep.
That's going to be the game when you think of the way 2017 unfolded, where every lucky fumble bounce, every tip pass, every quarterback hit that led to an errant throw, every pass that should have been dropped or picked off was caught or an incompletion. If we start seeing those plays and they're on national TV and they can get out to this 2-0 start and have some soft games before the bye, we're going to really get that feeling whether this is 2017 or is it 2014.
Right. And sometimes it's in life, really, and especially in sports, sometimes it's better to be lucky than just be good. So you can, like you said, like if the ball bounces their ways more than one time, if a guy slipping is just a tweaked ankle, not a torn ACL, like all that stuff matters. Like
throwing the ball off a safety's knee and your second receiver catches it and you get a field goal after that. That's better to be lucky than good is a great way of saying that. And I think the 2017 Eagles were equally so in some ways.
And really the other part of it is, we haven't talked a ton. It just tells you how different the season already is, right? I feel like last year we talked a ton, but like this year we've hardly mentioned Sirianni and the coaching staff because I listen, the guy certainly has taken the reins. It is his team. I much respect to him. Much respect.
Being down there and interacting with him a little bit and talking to the team and seeing the energy, I was a little iffy on Sirianni last year. I didn't really give a crap about the press conference. I was like, Doug Peterson's press conference got crapped on even more than this. I really think.
Yeah. I remember,
and he won the Super Bowl 2 years later. Like I don't really care about that.
Yeah. People thought he was an idiot. Remember that they were like, "Oh, this guy is a dunce."
And I wrote an article last year saying that Sirianni could be a one and done, and people freaked out. But it was more so that he wasn't this entrenched guy. He wasn't this next McVay vibe with him. That doesn't mean he can't be that, but that wasn't his background when he was brought here.
Right.
And he was kind of tied to Jalen Hurts. And if it was a situation where Hurts truly was bad last year, and he certainly wasn't that, but if he was bad and Sirianni's there and he seems like a lame duck situation and the Eagles had a top 5 pick and wanted to draft a quarterback or something like that, it reminds me of, say, like the 2019 Cardinals where they're firing the coach, they're trading their first-round pick quarterback they took the year before just to restart the clock because you don't want to be in a middle ground. And this organization is very smart about the time where you can build a roster, the contract situation of a quarterback on a rookie deal, those types of things. So it wasn't really about that. Call it what it is, the flower planting thing. Thought I was like, dude, what the hell are you saying? Just like sometimes better to say nothing than say anything. But it was a turnaround. You could say it's a schedule, but you have to give the credit to him. You really, really do. And he won't be the primary play caller this year. I think he wants to have his hands in more facets of the team, and you could tell that down there. Kind of speaking more about the defense than you would have thought initially. Especially, it's a big change from the Doug Peterson, Jim Schwartz era, where Jim Schwartz was almost head coach part 2, and just everything was defense for him, everything was offense for Doug.
This is not a hot take because it's been a take way before I've mentioned it, but I am one of those people who thinks that if this defense performs the way that we all hope it does, that Jonathan Gannon is probably the next sexy name on the list for head coaches next year, which is cool. We all want them to have success. So I think he definitely gets poached, though, if for college or for NFL, if the defense is stout like we hope it is. I just think that he, how quickly that world turns, I think he definitely would be one of those guys.
Yeah, get Darian's brother in here to be the new defensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
Talk about a price increase.
Talk about a price increase. Yes, sir. Our guy for sure. The Broncos don't need him, so yeah.
Anything else? Got a hard out soon. Any other plays you're doing this weekend? You want to list off any other, Reagor trade we talked about?
We Gardner-Johnson trade. So real quick, I like Georgia plus the points over in Oregon. I think officially taking Ohio State over Notre Dame. That's gonna be a really, really good game though.
Ohio State just straight up or minus 17?
I'm gonna take them straight up. I don't know if I like them minus 17. I'll take them straight up. And I think that's it, man. Those are where my loyalties lie this weekend.
I think Cincy, Arkansas could be a decent matchup. That's 3:30 on Saturday, ESPN. I'm just running through the schedule now. I really love that the way they've been doing Monday games during that right off Labor Day before the NFL is taking over Monday Night Football. So that'll be 8 p.m. Monday. Will be Clemson at Georgia Tech for the sponsored Chick-fil-A kickoff. Obviously, we're not a Chick-fil-A podcast. We have other chicken providers we are in on.
There's a Florida State game Monday too, I think.
I'm only looking at the top 25 thing. So if I'm looking at FBS, I can see more. So and then Sunday is Sunday night, which is really nice. Florida LSU. They're both unranked but prestigious programs. That's 7:30 on ABC.
That'll be fun. Shout out! That game can go either way, but I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun one to watch. LSU is quote unquote rebuilding, but we'll see what they look like. But I think that they are they're certainly going to score some points. They have an offense that won't take much long to figure it out.
No. And again, we'll plug our live podcast 2 weeks from today.
Already.
Thursday, September 15th, Liberty Grounds, 1600 Westerart Ave. Zo and I will be there. We'll have some of their great Twitter crew there, have some guests come here, come there, talk ball, watch some ball, have some drinks, have a nice lamb cheesesteak, and just have a blast and get ready for the Birds home opener.
RiceToRickySanchez.com says newsletter. Fly the Process Part 6.
Yes.
We are flying down to ultimately San Antonio, in February for the Sixers and Spurs game. After which we'll say hi to Brett Brown. He'll come say what's up to everybody. Visit RiceToRickySanchez.com and check out the website. It's actually a very, very fun trip. It's probably going to be our biggest one yet.
You going?
So we're all super excited about it. I as of now am going. This is the kind of trip where 7 months notice is definitely needed. So it came out at the perfect time. So I think I am going to try to go this year. I've actually never been to San Antonio. So even just for that, I would like to go.
All right, bro. We'll talk next week. Get ready for week 1. We should be doing podcasts regularly on Thursday going forward. Some things come up, whatever. But look for us in your podcast feed as always.
Talk
to you next week. We'll talk, bro.